Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Why do some Dragon Ball supervillains feel like recycled leftovers from the past? Let's dive into the 10 critical flaws that fans can't ignore. Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball never fails to delight, but even the best franchises can have weak spots. Dragon Ball Super brings fresh battles and characters, but some of its villains fall flat. First up, villains in Dragon Ball Super often feel like nostalgic callbacks rather than new threats. Characters like Frieza and Broly are stronger, but lack the originality that made their first appearances so memorable. Transformation sequences are a staple in Dragon Ball, but in Super, they sometimes feel forced. Government. Moro's multiple forms, for example, seem more about extending fight times than showcasing new power. The Dragon Balls are a powerful plot device, but their frequent misuse by villains feels like a crutch. Moro and Granola both gain unfair advantages through wishes, making their threats feel less genuine. Some villains in Dragon Ball Super aren't inherently evil, just misled. Gamma 1 and 2, for instance, fight for Red Ribbon, not out of personal malice. This adds depth, but doesn't necessarily make them stronger foes. Goku's victories are legendary, but Dragon Ball Super often defaults to him as the sole hero. Vegeta and others have moments of triumph, but Goku's dominance can overshadow their contributions. Certain villains from Dragon Ball Super haven't returned, leaving their potential untapped. Granola and Jiren are intriguing but underdeveloped. Their story is left incomplete. Innovation is key in Dragon Ball, but Super's villains sometimes lack the unique flair of past antagonists. Moro and Gas, for example, follow a familiar design template, losing their initial intrigue. Villains in Dragon Ball Super often have backstories that aren't properly set up. Moro, for instance, is introduced as a powerful magic user without much context, creating narrative dissonance. So, and finally, the power levels in Dragon Ball Super are so high that it's hard to feel the impact of their battles. The universe-shattering fights can sometimes feel anticlimactic. And for a lighthearted note, why can't a villain ever just be a villain without a weak spot? It's like they're playing hide and seek with their weaknesses. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.